Let's take it back to the end of Bionicle G2. Let's check out some revamps of the elemental beasts, the villains of the final wave. Now, some of these mocks will be direct revamps of these awesome characters. Others are just going to kind of be using the pieces or loosely inspired by them, but either way, they're going to inspire you and give you some ideas for your next Bionicle mock. Our first mock today was built by Fu Min, and this is called Grodas. So yeah, not a direct revamp of Storm Beast, but it certainly uses a lot of the pieces from this set, and it could actually still pass as a Storm Beast revamp. Now, I really love these back spikes. It reminds me of the spikes that we see on the back of Godzilla. And the choice to use these lime and black Skrull weapons that came on a set much like this one, that's smart because the colors of these pieces, well, it ties in with the rest of the color scheme of this mock, but also the cool lime symbols, they have this fun, mystical or ancient flair to them. To me, it gives you the impression that this monster could be thousands of years old, or maybe it's tapping into some sort of ancient godlike power. I just think it's cool. This upgraded face, I think, is incredible, giving it a more pronounced jaw design using a dark blue Rakshi head, very smart. But look at how they've used these semicircle pieces here to give them big old puffy cheeks. I imagine this area would maybe fill up with electricity, and then when it's done charging, all of that would burst out of the mouth like some sort of atomic blast. Well, that's just the impression I get from looking at it. And I always love that about Bionicle mocks. When I look at it and I suddenly think, oh, that's how it would use its sick power-up attack, or, oh, this thing must, tie into its elemental powers, or whatever. If you can put stuff onto your mock that kind of helps tell a story, or showcases how they'd fight, or how they'd move, or the way they'd act, well, that's the kind of stuff I like to see, personally. Otherwise, just the basic silhouette of the character is incredible, the powerful muscular leg design, all of these blades and spikes flaring out of the arms and the legs. This just has presence. It looks powerful, it looks sensational. Dylan Meaves has revamped every single member of the Shadow Horde, as he calls them, and man, the trio posing up a storm like this, oh, it's epic. But let's examine each beast individually and see how they've been improved. Armoring up Storm Beast a lot more, I think that was a great choice. The legs, for example, they look way cooler when they're a digitigrade leg design with those backwards knees. I far prefer this to the unarmored skinny design that was on the original set. Now, speaking of that original set, its torso design also has a lot of gaps in it, which is fine and all, but Dylan's version here, just the way it's like overflowing with all this crystal armor, isn't that way cooler? There's always something very pleasing to see about a more compact and gap-free design. The legs and the torso on Dylan's Lava Beast, they're working in a pretty similar manner to what we were just talking about. But let's talk about these arms. Heaps of fire pieces flaring out of the edges, that looks incredible. Yeah, the original set had all these blades coming out of the arms, and that was cool, and I like that this mirrors that, but you know what, ironically, Dylan's version looks more like a beast of lava. A lava beast, if you will. The original set, yeah, those blades kind of resemble fire and lava, but also not really. I don't know, man, Dylan just sells the idea of a lava beast way, way better, in my opinion at least. The printed armor shells on the legs here, those also look sensational. I really enjoy seeing these black armor shells with the lava pattern flowing through it. These of course came on the Hero Factory set Fire Lord. Some of them were placed here on this set. And what's great is that these pair very nicely with the printed torso piece that came on the original set. It's like those pieces were meant to be together. And then finally, Quake Beast. Now, the choice to add in lots of magenta spike pieces here, these are the same ones that came on the Ben 10 set that you're seeing right here. This is Chromastone. Yeah, that was such a good idea. The color scheme of trans purple, normal purple, and then hints of magenta. Well, there's also black and some other colors as well, but purple and magenta together like this, it's exquisite. And the magenta spikes, they pair quite nicely with the magenta printing that's on this torso piece. The same one that came on the official set. Man, sometimes even just tiny little splashes of extra color or a few spikes on a character, it's enough to just elevate it so much. Great idea, Dylan. I really, really love how you've revamped every single one of these dudes. Some of your best work. Fearock's Journey gives us a revamp of Quake Beast now. So good to see a custom head instead of that original mask. Doing so allows you to do crazy big teeth like this, or you can create an eye design that uses some of those same magenta spike pieces that we spoke about before. And hey, we see even more of those on the hand and the arm. These really are awesome pieces, and just seeing them on two different Quake Beast mocks, well, it makes me think this is like an essential piece that you need if you're going to revamp this set. Because gosh, it looks so good. I like seeing these big old Stronius armor pieces here. These are the ones that of course came on this set. Now sure, we're using shoulder pieces as shoulder pieces, it's nothing exceptional, but I think these pair very nicely with the mock because I've always felt that that armor has a nice kind of stony, cavernous look to it. And given that this mock also has that big old crystallized arm, well, those pieces pair quite nicely with one another, don't they? So yeah, that's a great inclusion. I love this mock. Hopping on over to the next mock, this is Lava Beast by Paulx Mock Building. Check out the awesome volcano on their back. What a clever way of showcasing some of the lava elemental powers of this guy. You know, I can't think of the last time I've seen a tiny volcano resting on the back of a Bionicle. That's so original and so clever. The larger horns on the head, those look great, as do these feet, using 2 of these Brain Attack trans orange visor pieces that came on this set here, bulk. I think that's a great foot design. Paulx Mock Building, you did a good job here. Love your work. On to the next mock. This is Lungorthan the Devil by Leonid Arn. Well, yeah, okay, this isn't a Lava Beast mock. But on Flickr, Leonid himself mentions that this mock started as a Lava Beast mock, but then he said, and I quote, "But something went wrong, so this evil guy was born." And hey man, that happens sometimes when you're building. You want to make one thing and then halfway through, you change your mind. Or as you're building, it just kind of takes on a life of its own and it evolves into something completely different. There's nothing wrong with that at all. So if you're struggling right now with whatever it is that you're building, maybe that's just a sign to take it in a brand new direction. And I'm glad that Leonid did because this devil dude rocks. This head design is exceptional, using a lot of these black claw pieces above the eye design. And then this big old toothy grin. This face is just so full of character and very well made. It's nice and compact. And then a massive flame whip like this, that's such a nice touch. You could easily add a flame whip like that onto Lava Beast if you are revamping him. See, even stuff that isn't related to some of these elemental beasts, we can still draw a little bit of inspiration from. And then let's finish things off with another mock that isn't an elemental beast revamp, but it could totally pass as one. This is Kaiju Leatherback by D-Nil. Oh, the scale of this is so impressive. I mean, look at these hands. Posable fingers using CCBS bones and armoring them up. It's awesome. Now, sure, hands aren't this big if you're basing it off of normal human anatomy. But who cares? That's the aesthetic of this kaiju, and it rocks. Next time you want to make something, play with the proportions. Give it bigger hands, give it really long legs, whatever. Doing so can lead to some really fun and unique character design. And sometimes it's just more enjoyable to build stuff that's a little bit more wacky and out there. The stuff you can really add your own creative license to. But also, sometimes building really accurate human anatomy is just as enjoyable. It depends what you like. Speaking of stuff that we like, this back design, well, that's my favorite part of this mock. All these lightning pieces that just cover this back, it goes so hard. Man, this looks so cool. And that was a look at a bunch of different revamps of the elemental beasts from the final wave of Bionicle G2. Hopefully that gave you a little bit of inspiration, and if you liked the mocks that you saw in today's episode, please check the links in the description below, and take a look at some of the other stuff that these people have built. Also in the description below is the submission email. If you'd like to see your own mocks on the show, you can submit them to that email. Otherwise, that's all for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching, happy building, and bye for now.